I
Yep.
don't.
You don't? Hey
You don't
there.
shake it off. Oh.
That's all right. We are live. Welcome to Geek Philosophy's Ventas Relics of the Ancients live stream D&D campaign, and we love geeky wisdom. Had to say that off the beginning. My name's Brian. I'll be the DM. We are wrapping up a campaign tonight, so thanks for joining us. If you've been joining us all along, awesome. If you're joining us for the first time, you'll probably want to go back and watch the other ones at some point. But next to me at the top is Carrie playing Henrik. Below me on the bottom is Crystal playing Riva. And next to her is Melanie playing Alora.
Okay.
All right, so wrapping it up, guys. Let's jump in. So, I, it's sort of probably in everybody's mind. So I don't have to do as much of a recap, I think, than I have done in the past. We're picking up exactly where we left off. Our brave adventurers went on a death-defying mission to go in and try to stop the Shadow Seekers. With a little bit of a change in plans at the beginning from stealth into I'm going in to a warning shot from someone to that person being taken down. I have to say, as part of this recap, that I made a mistake in the last session. So I reached out to the players to kind of see how we wanted to handle it. So here's the mistake for everybody that maybe caught it if you had watched this already or watched the last game. There was question or whether or not the shooter, Gentry, was dead or not. He was, but that's because I forgot about the rule that you can choose to do less than lethal damage. And if you bring an opponent down to 0, then they're knocked out. So I think the intent was to do that, but so I checked with everybody offline. They agreed that that's what they would have wanted to do. Riva even had some manticles that she got.
Yes.
So anyway, we're gonna make sure that he's alive and he's just knocked out. So as we start, we are in what was sort of a treasure room, so to speak. We don't know what the original purpose was for this, but this is where you went through. You took care of the Shadow Seekers that were there, which was the main one, Drayan, that was waiting for you as Zrisha was performing some sort of ritual using the orbs that she had. And there were several pulses of energy from the orbs. There were some effects that were happening. Luckily, the effect that was happening, because you all rolled really well, each time was a positive one. So you were able to take care of the shadows that were in that room and Drayan and bring down Zrisha enough that she was feeling like she had to get out of there, and she did. So she used her ability to Misty Step into another area. You tracked her down with the help of Tempe, who knew the area a little bit better. And after finishing her off and her disappearing into wisps of shadow, you were there with a chest that you had seen, which had been opened. And it appeared to be, as you were kind of investigating a little bit, that it may have been that Zrisha was using this room as sort of a base of operations, and maybe she was staying there, and maybe she was the one that went in the chest. You don't know, but it was open. It wasn't as locked and warded like the first one that you came across in your first venture into a Donrin ruin. And in that, you found a letter, apparently written to Alora, and it appeared very similar to what Riva saw in her dream. So apparently it didn't burn. And so that's kind of where we're picking up. We're picking up with you guys had gone into the chest. You'd found some other things there. Let me make sure that I am stating everything correctly. You found a cloak that seemed to be of an old design, so probably of the Donrin era. You found some sort of amulet that had a sort of a ruby crystal embedded in it, and there was a stone that was the shape of one of your eight-siders. So that was also in the chest along with the letter. So we're picking up exactly where we left off, guys. So I want to make sure that I take a break talking and let you guys talk through what you'd like to do.
Well, I would like to look at that eight-sided stone. Are runes on it?
There are some etchings in the stone um, on each side.
Are they the runes that we have seen that correspond with the different houses?
They don't appear to be the same as those
Okay.
runes, but you can do a Arcana check if you'd like.
Let me see. Arcana. Okay.
Do we need to take care of Gentry first so we don't let him die like the last person, or will he sit for a while?
Yeah, we'll retcon it a little bit and say you guys already locked him up
Yeah.
Okay.
with
Okay.
your handcuffs
Good deal.
that you got,
Okay.
and
Okay.
got
Sounds
him
good.
ready to good. So you guys are
Okay.
good.
All right.
It's a 14.
Okay, with a 14, you're not quite sure what these are. They're not familiar to you. It's not something that
Okay.
you've come across in your travels.
Okay. All right. Is the ruby crystal just like a stone? Does it have a shape?
It is sort of a hexagonal cut, but sort of embedded in the silver amulet.
Okay, so silver. And what color is the cloak?
The cloak, that's a good question. It's hard to pin down a color. Sometimes it appears to be gray, sometimes it's shimmering like a little bit of silver, and then sometimes, depending on where you're standing and the light source that you have in the room, and with both of you kind of lit up, I guess.
An
Sometimes
invisibility cloak.
it's a little bit of a blue
Uh-huh.
thing.
That's
Okay.
exactly what I was thinking.
So, can I cast Detect Magic as a ritual? That group, we're kind of hanging out in here, right?
Sure.
There's no reason to run away, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let me check a couple things. Okay, so yes, all of the items that you found, with the exception of the letter, are given off a magical aura. With a faint, you can see, Henrik, a sort of a faint glow about them. Bear with me as I make sure that I understand which schools they are. I don't know. That's not because you can't figure it out. I'll say that you know what they are. I'm just not sure because it's not listing the for the items that I have here. It's not listing the specific school of magic, and I know it should be telling you that. But I'm going to say that you know what it is, whatever it's supposed to be. You get the feeling that. Well, roll an Arcana check if you want to see if you can figure out anything more about them. Let's do one at a time just to see what you can figure out about each. So you tell me which one you're going to go for.
let's start with the cloak. 14.
Hold on. I'll guide you.
Okay. I saw you waving, so he's adding
Okay.
a D4?
Yes.
Okay.
23.
So the cloak. um, you're getting a without doing an identify spell, you're still able to kind of pick up that this is um, likely old, likely of Donrin make. The magic that you're seeing kind of gives you a feeling of two different things. One being it may make you a little harder to hit, and the other being that you have a feeling like you could make this cloak look like whatever cloak you wanted it to look like. But you'd have to spend some time with it for those things to really sink in, you think?
Sure. Okay. And then next up is what you want to do? The crystal.
The
I'll guide you there.
Yeah, a little
D8
amulet
looking
thing.
stone? Okay.
Or the D8 stone or the crystal amulet?
Are you asking me?
Well, you had said the
Yeah, which one are you going
crystal,
for?
and you said the stone, which it like the 8-sider is different. So I didn't know
Things. Let's do the first one.
the
The-
ruby
that.
stone, the ruby
Amulet?
amulet.
Okay.
You tell me one. Yes, amulet.
Okay.
16.
Did you roll your 4-sider?
I get that. 17.
Yeah, so with your detect magic going and your inspection of this, you can kind of feel as if it would somehow affect your health. Whether that's positive or negative, you don't know.
Okay, and then the stone.
All right, guide you there too,
It's not going to be so hot.
because I can do that at will, right? Like I'm not.
We're out of combat, so I'll say yeah, you
Right.
can, because it's a cantrip, right?
The cantrip, yeah.
14.
So because of your study, I would say that you can roll with advantage on this. Let me know if you get better than the 14. If you don't, that's fine. You're muted, I think.
15.
15?
It's technically better.
You've
Better than
Is that with the
14?
4?
you've seen stones like these orbiting around some of the wizards' heads at the Tower of the Arcane, but you're not sure what type of stone this is. But you've seen similar stones that like levitate and orbit around as they walk around. They just kind of encircle their head. Some people might even have two, but for right now, this is just one single one, and you don't know what it does.
Okay. So we got 3 people and 3 things. You guys want to just divvy it up, pick one apiece?
We could either do that, or we can just stow them all and do a identify later and divvy them up.
Am
Whichever.
I holding any of these? Do I have to hold any of these to do this, Brian?
You were kind of inspecting them with the, I would say probably to be able to do your Arcana check to figure what they were out. But if you're saying that you're not doing that, then that's fine.
Yeah, I do want to. I want to touch it. I want to touch everything.
Which one?
Yep.
Imagine that.
You feel which you feel. I mean, you kind of just got the same feeling of everything I just described, with the exception of when you're touching the stone, you feel energy in it, like something like energy contained in it.
We can
Okay,
divvy
cool.
them up now if you want to.
Can I like flick it up in the air or something next to my head? See what happens.
Sick. Just don't hit me with it. I'm over there with you. Whew.
flick it up in the air, but it comes down. You catch it before it drops, but it doesn't stay in the air. You
It
feel,
shatters into a million
yeah,
pieces.
you feel as
That was
if,
yours.
yeah, you feel as if you need time to attune to it for it to
Okay.
do anything.
Cool. So I'll put it in my pocket then.
Okay.
Oh, you're taking the stone.
Yeah, I'll take the stone.
Okay. Laura, which one would you like?
What stone?
Uh-huh. We all looked in there and saw them. You want the cloak or do you want the amulet? So the
Oh,
cloak
I
is
don't
kind
care.
of shifting, and then the amulet it seemingly affects health.
Doesn't matter.
All right, you want to roll?
We can.
Okay.
What we
All
rolling?
right.
20s.
A 20 side.
Okay.
And I guess we could just roll for the amulet, and whoever has the highest gets it, and then the lowest takes the other one, maybe?
Okay.
It's a good way
What
to
you
do it.
think?
I got a 4.
Well, I got a 15.
There you go. But which one do you want? You got the highest, so you just pick which one you want.
Oh, I get to pick?
Yeah, pick. Since
So
you got the
hard.
highest.
It's so hard.
I know,
I want
that
the
is
cloak.
hard.
Okay, maybe we should just hold on to R2 and get them identified, and then we can pick which one is best for either one of us. Because personally, Crystal wants the cloak.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's the right one for Reva.
Okay.
So my vote is we take it, and we take them, and we get them identified whenever we get back into town, I guess.
Sounds good.
Those seem to be incredible items.
What do you know about them, Temper?
Oh, just that we found them recently.
So these
That's not helpful.
were these in here with you when you were here?
I don't remember.
Well, poop.
Okay. Because
Hey,
my
so
other thing too is sorry.
Well, we're hanging out in this room, but the orbs are just kind of hanging out in the other room, right? Still. So maybe we should have this conversation at least in the same room as the orbs, so no one sneaks off on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Henrik, do not touch them.
The orbs?
Do not touch the orbs. Barehanded.
I'm already walking through the hallway, so I don't hear that.
Oh, dang. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I try to catch up with him. I have on my gloves, so I'm gonna try to catch up and grab.
Where's your
whichever ones I
slingshot?
can.
Smack him in the head with a stone.
I'm gonna take that stone and
Wait a
smack him with
minute.
it.
Yeah, there you go. Wait a
My
minute.
other set of manacles are for you, bud.
Yeah, there you go.
So you make your way down the hallway to where the mechanical secret door was that you went through with all the switches and movement and stuff, but that's still open. So you go through, going back the way you came is the quickest route there, and everything seems to be as it was. You still see the body of Drayan, the 3 orbs that are still there. And as you get closer, you can kind of see outside because of the way the hallway goes down from there. And as you get into the room where you can feel sort of the breeze coming in from outside in the mountain air, you hear this woof, woof, woof.
Oh, coffee. Maybe. Hopefully.
That's who
It
I
sounds
thought
like coffee.
So yeah, go ahead.
And you said that that's kind of more outside.
You can hear it from outside,
Okay.
yeah.
So I kind of go up to the door and peek out to see if I can see if it's coffee.
Yeah, so as you get to where the entrance was and you look down, you sure enough you see Coffee and Javin walking towards the ruins, but they are also walking with 3 other people, both, and they're all pretty serious looking, like as far as like their face, they're kind of like, what's going on, and they keep coming through. And when Javin kind of takes a look over, and Coffee is kind of stopped in between where he is and where you are, looking from the doorway, he kind of breathes a sigh of relief, and then starts trotting a little bit up to where Coffee is to come meet with you.
Okay. I wave at them and just say kind of out loud, I'm so glad to see you alive. The last time I saw you, you were, they were getting you revived and sending you home.
Well, it's a good to
I'm so
see you
glad you're
too. I
okay.
can't believe you. I was dead for a bit. Sorry that you had to go through all that, but thanks for looking after me, and thanks for doing all that you've been doing, seeking out. Just come here, girlie. And he gives you a hug
Big hug.
as much as he
Well, as
can.
much as
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
And then Coffee kind of like nuzzles up against you a little bit.
I
And
pat his
then
head.
as you're doing that, like the others kind of slow down a little bit and kind of steady their pace as they're walking. And Javin kind of like turns his head back. He's like, "It's okay, it's okay. Wait, is it okay?" And he's asking you as far as like, "Is everything fine? What's happened?"
Everything is good on our end. Who are these gentlemen or folks?
They brought me here. They're with the Athenaeum.
Okay. Henrik, will you come here, please?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Do you know these folks?
Yeah. Do I recognize any of them, Brian?
You recognize one of them. You don't. You didn't really even recognize Javin when you saw him because he didn't look so good last time you saw him, right? And but you put it together after her talking. The only one that you do recognize is a gentleman. He's in sort of. Well, let me just show you. So first you. Let me. There we go. So there you've got Javin. Then you also see this gentleman. That this is who you recognize. And you recognize him as you've never met him, but he's Dean Orin Fallow, and he's the dean of the Tower of Sentinels. So one of the other of the three towers of the Athenaeum, which you would know, Henrik, as even some of your studies kind of crossed over between all three. Not that you were skilled in any of their arts, but you know that that's where the path, the way of the Sentinel trains. They're monks, and they train there. So he's the head of that tower. And then you see another person with him, dressed very much in the similar type of almost uniform. You do not know who this person is, but you would assume that she's another Order of the Sentinel. So it's kind of.
And who was the dean?
Dean Orin, Orin Fallow.
Okay.
So it was 3 people with Javin?
Yep. And then the last person that you see, again, you don't. Other person that you don't know who they are, you haven't recognized, looks like this. So he's kind of putting away his knives at the moment, dressed pretty regally, not regally, but just kind of smartly. And so you can, you sort of, are taken aback by the fact that they're even here. But Dean Orin Fallow kind of walks a little bit to the front and kind of nods his head a little bit. Says, I assume that you are all doing well, then. We were very concerned. He's speaking to either of you, or both of you.
Yeah, well, I'm not well because I only have 6 hit points, but We're doing okay.
He's like, look,
You
what
have
are
a
these hit
potion.
points that you speak of? I don't.
Um, okay, I will cast. Hold on.
No, fine. We're out of
I will.
combat. It's cool.
What?
Just drink a potion.
I don't. I need to save my potion. I'm
Oh,
willing to die.
okay.
Save the potion.
No, he's gonna grab another orb. Never mind. he's ready.
No. Ridiculous.
So
Never
he kind
mind.
of.
Somebody else can heal you. I have three
So
spells of it, like 3 spell slots. So
what of those shadow seekers? Are they still here, or did they leave?
The
This is
bodies
more
were
towards
still
you,
there, right?
Riva.
um
Javin.
so oh wait. Okay, so we have a hired some guild person as a mercenary, hired gun. Over here, we actually just knocked him out, tied him up. He was their lookout.
A guild agent.
Um, yes, a guild agent. He gave a warning shot. He tried to warn us off. So,
They'll have
it
him out
wasn't,
by tomorrow morning.
well, he was hired to do his job. And then there is one person inside. Drayen is inside. And I don't know how much you were informed earlier, but he was someone that we saw previously
Oh, I
with.
know that man.
Drayen is deceased inside.
Good riddance.
Um,
He put me that way.
he's who he's who did that to you. Well, then
Oh.
I'm glad that we killed him. And then so the one being person that we were the most concerned about was Zrisha.
Hmm.
And I don't really think we killed her as much as we injured her so much she lost her grip on our realm. She kind of just faded
Interesting.
while screaming at us. She's not that we were being fools.
I take it she's the
And
one from the Shadowfell. She's the Shadow guy.
yes, she's the actual, I think, leader of the Shatterkai that were here. I think she was orchestrating everything.
Well, I think we have
Um,
pressing matters to attend to then. Um, uh,
we
maybe
have found 3 more orbs inside.
that's why we came here. Roland, can you do your thing? And then the tiefling man puts his 2 knives away, and then kind of puts his hands in his coat pockets, and then starts to walk in past you and into the ruins. I'll get them.
Okay.
And then Orin Fallow says, "We, well, Spiros saw that there was something happening to the other orb, and he did some work in his tower to discern that there were some sort of energy coming, and he thought they might all be connected. Then he scried that there was some sort of pulse coming from this area. Do you know anything about that?"
Zarisha was in the middle of a ritual summoning. She was doing something when we got here. So much so that we attacked her many times and she never broke her concentration to fight back. She was bent on achieving whatever end of the spell she was trying to have happen. Luckily enough, we were able to stop her um, before she finished her ritual or her spell.
Alora, where are you as they're talking out in the front? Are you still inside, or did you go out there?
I probably, if when they didn't come back, I came looking for them.
Okay, so as you are coming out, you see this tiefling gentleman in a nice tailored suit, sort of gray beard, black horns kind of curled back, and he kind of nods to you with a smile, and he walks right past you as he goes towards the center of the room where the orbs were. And you see him from beneath his coat, he pulls out 3 bags, and he starts to take the bag and put each one of the orbs in the bags and cinch them up. And then once he's done, he starts coming back out towards where you are.
Okay, and as I'm doing that, like, wait a minute, who are you? What are you doing?
I am. You can call me Roland, dear. I am of the Athenaeum, other tower, the one that doesn't usually have to go out and do these things, but they've asked me to help.
Oh, okay. I'm Alora. Just making sure you were okay.
Alora, it's so nice to meet you. And he bows.
Oh.
I love your bracelet. It is quite unique. Where did you get it?
It's a family heirloom.
Ah, well then, I am honored to have met you, and hopefully I will do honor to your family someday.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
He nods and he starts bringing it out, and then when he gets out there, he hands the bag to the other one. So like he's only carrying one, so he hands them to the other woman that was there, the elven woman that was there, and then he hands it to Orin Fallow, the other one. So he's just got one. And Javin then says, "Is there anything else that needs to be done here, or will you come back with us to the Athenaeum?"
We picked up everything already, didn't we?
Well, I think so, but I wanted to make sure. I wanted to walk through real quick and make sure we didn't leave anything. What were so you said that the orbs were on these tripod things. Are they anything special? Like, is it anything that helps channel the power? Is it anything, or is it just like tripods? I'm just making sure I'm not leaving stuff behind, okay?
Are you having a Critical Role flashback right now?
And I also want to search Drayen. We did not search him. I want to search him.
Okay.
We will come back, but just give us a couple minutes.
Okay. So Orin says, "Should I take care of the guild agent then?"
That would be wonderful.
So he nods to the woman that came with him, and she nods to him. She hasn't said anything at all since she's been there. And she walks over to him and sort of kind of lifts up the manacles a little bit just to see if he's still alive. And he is. He's kind of moving a little bit. She reaches into a pouch at the side and pulls out a little vial and pours something into his mouth. And he starts to cough, and he wakes up. And then as he starts to move quickly, she just shakes her head no and gives him a stern look. And then he kind of looks at his hands shackled together, and he kind of he just like slumps down like defeated. And then she kind of pulls him to his feet and starts walking him towards where the other people in the group are. Orin then does some sort of gestures with his hands in the air towards her direction, and then she responds using different gestures back, and then he continues to or she continues to move him to a safer position amongst all the group.
Like sign language? Like
yes,
she's deaf?
It's like some type of sign language.
Okay.
You're not familiar with it, but it's
yeah. Cool.
So you're heading back in to take a look at those things. Everybody going, or just?
I mean, I'm okay. I can go by myself if Henrik wants to stay out here and talk to them, or whatever. But I want to dip back in and see what Drayen had on him.
I'll stay outside. Yeah, just keep an eye on the orbs.
Oh my god!
Perfect timing.
And Alora, are you going outside with them or staying inside, going back inside? What is your idea?
Do you need help, Reba, or are you good?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make sure we're not leaving anything behind.
Okay.
Got it.
I'll
So
go outside with everybody else.
let me. I'm going to switch over to Henrik, Alora, and the people outside for a second. Riva, in the meantime, roll an investigation check, and then that way we'll be ready by the time you get back, or I get back to you. So, Oren kind of looks over to you, Henrik, and says, "You were one of Spiros's lads, right?"
That's correct.
Well met. And your name's... Sorry.
Henrik Holliston.
Well met, sir. And you must be Elora?
Yes.
A friend also spoke of a connection possibly with someone in the Imperial Army. Do you have family there?
Yes, I hear my uncle is the general.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, okay. I'm trying to put this together. You are half elven, correct?
Yes.
So, what part of the family are you from then? I'm sorry for prying. It's just I'm interested in. I don't know how this puzzles are a thing for me, and this is one I just can't figure out.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Guard dogs. Sorry.
It's coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. He found a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. My brain went.
That's okay.
Cracking.
And you don't have to have all the answers. He was just curious.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember. Oh yeah. But I was trying to remember her name. What's her name? But yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, my mother was his sister. Or is his sister, depending. I'm not really sure if she's still alive.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up something unsettling. It's just I have some contacts within the Empire, but not too many, and I've only met him in passing. But his estate isn't too far from the grounds of the Athenaeum, so it's interesting that somehow his apparently long lost niece. Interesting indeed. Well, when your friend inside is finished, then perhaps we can go. Our friend that you have already, well, not really met, but you've seen here, we can use a circle similar to what you used here. He can put this on the ground. Can you get working on that, please? Yeah, so the tiefling guy kind of goes, yes, yes. And he starts laying out runes on the ground and drawing a teleportation circle for you guys to be able to get back quicker. It's the same way that they used the circle at the Athenaeum. So this is another circle that takes you directly back to the Athenaeum. All right, Riva.
Yes.
So you go. So the first roll for your investigation is for the tripods or searching through
Drayan.
Drayan. Okay. So.
Do I know what I rolled?
Yes.
I rolled an 18 and my investigation's 1, so 19.
19. So, as you're investigating Drayan, you notice a few things. You kind of see that his hands are a little, like his knuckles are a little scuffed. He's got calluses on his inside of his hands as if he's been working. And then you also notice that he has as you're kind of looking him over, that there's some sort of a paste that's on his skin, and as you push it, like move him a little bit, and you kind of use your thumb to nudge a little bit off, and it's like makeup, and this makeup is covering most of his left side of his body, and it appears to be covering some sort of dark burn mark, up most of it all the way up into his face, and it's like what you thought was just kind of shadows when you saw him before. It was sort of the makeup not covering everything up, but he apparently had some type of scarring previously. It makes sense from the story that you got told from Henrik of when they found the original orb, that maybe that's what did it, but you're not sure. You don't know. You also find on him no gold, no money at all, and he carries a scimitar, and then across his back, in the middle of his back, he carries a long dagger. So like at the small of his back, like so he could reach behind and pull it out to the side. He's got a long dagger there.
Okay. Is that it?
That's all you see there. Yep.
Okay. Well, I put both of those in my bag of holding.
Okay.
And then head over to the tripods, I guess, just to see if there's anything of import about them.
Okay.
I mean, who knows what Jarisha's done? You know, we don't know if she found something that kind of helps.
Check the altar too.
Yeah, so I'll go up there and do that too.
Yeah, check that. Okay. Yeah, just in case.
Okay.
All right, so my check for tripods is 3.
Yeah, so it seems to be that these are wrought iron, and sort of the way that you would use like the tripods that kind of hook together over a campfire, except they extend farther out so that the orb was kind of set in them, like it was kind of crossed, like that, I guess, and then the orb was kind of just placed in there. So that's all you can tell is it seems to be an ordinary, like what you would see over a campfire.
Okay. All right, well then I'll just go up real quick to the altar and kind of look around and see if I see anything up there.
Okay.
And that is a 16.
So where this was, you can tell that this was not really an altar in the sense of being a religious item. It seems to have been more of a meeting place where, just from the like some of the fresco-like patches of stone, and you can kind of make out that there may have been sort of a map like built into the top of the table, but most of it's all crumbled away. You can't really see what it was. So it may have been sort of a planning area where people would come around and look down, but that's about as much as you can tell from it. You don't see anything there that Zrisha was doing to change it. It may have just been the placement that where she was and where they were and things like that. So you're not really seeing anything from the altar that is popping out to you.
Okay. All right. I'm good then. So then I'll walk back up front or outside.
Okay. All right. Well, is everybody ready to go or what? I'm tired of being out here in the cold.
Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, ready whenever.
All right. So Roland sort of finishes his spell. It pops up, and then you see that shimmering type of light that you saw before when you went into the portal to get here, and it's ready for everybody to go. So soon as it pops up, like the dog just runs into it, and then Javin's like, "Coffee!" and then he starts running after Coffee, and then sort of they are about to step in with Gentry, and Gentry goes, wait, my bag, please. And then the one lady that was holding him over just like rolls her head, and then she walks over, she picks up the bag and brings it with them, and then they walk in.
We're gonna take that bag.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Make sure he didn't. We'll have to make sure we check it out.
Everybody roll an insight check on that. I don't have everybody's passive insight handy, so just roll it.
I got 11.
I should. Okay. All you DMs out there, have passive insight handy. I did not have it handy right now.
I got a 6.
I rolled a 3. Can I use my inspiration point
Sure.
to re-roll finally?
There you go. Use your inspiration.
Okay, I rolled a 15. It's insight.
Shoot, I rolled a 1. Don't even.
Oh, I got a +4 to insight. Hello. So 19.
19. With a 19, you get the feeling from the elven woman that's there, the monk, that, and the interaction that she had, that they have to, like, you get a feeling like they have to bring him in, and that he's likely going to get out. Like, it's one of those things where she's frustrated because she knows how this works, and there's probably some type of like deal that the guild coalition has as far as people on their jobs and things like that. So you're not sure, you don't know enough about it, but you do get that insight that she's frustrated about it just from her facial expressions and her body language, and he's kind of smirking a little bit because he knows that it's probably going to happen.
Should have killed him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll remember that we didn't.
Yeah. So maybe. Then, so they both enter, and then
did
I guess
we ever find out his name?
Gentry.
Oh yeah, Gentry. Duh. Hello.
Yep.
I forgot. Sorry.
And then the only one left is Dean Orenfallow, and he's kind of waiting for you guys. He wants to make sure everybody's safe, so he's kind of waiting for you guys to go in.
Okay. I step through.
Yep. Right behind you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. So, as you come through, you realize that you're standing in a circle in a large room this time. It is a large circular room. And then you kind of look about and you see that this is likely one entire floor of the Tower of the Arcane, because it's massive, the circle that you're in. There are parts of it that are partitioned off that look like there's some type of room. You can see a stairwell over on the side, like a spiral staircase. But it's a huge room. You're just in one small section of it. And as you look down and you kind of step out of the circle, you look all over the floor, and there are dozens of circles in this large chamber, as if this is sort of a crossroads, so to speak, of ways to get from one place to another. Henrik, you've never been in this, all of your studies, you've never been in this room in the tower. So it's definitely something that only gets used for emergencies or for people of a high enough status that they can use these, or they are granted access. So the fact that they took you in this way is sort of giving you the impression that this was a very important trip. As you look around, you can see that the walls are decorated with all types of different tapestries. When you get close enough to where there's a room, or the wall of the tower itself, or where the stairwells are, of different nation states, different families, different, like a collection of different flags or tapestries or banners from all over the continent, and almost as if paying homage to people. But also, you would imagine that if people were coming from different places, they're a friendly banner to see. So sort of in a way that like if you go to the United Nations, you see everybody's flag. It's sort of like that here, even though it's not like a government type of thing. It's like they want to make sure that people feel welcome. Um, there's also the scent of spice and apple in the air, and you see that over near the door where everybody's walking, there is sort of a metal sort of punch bowl floating over this disc that is sort of glowing with a warm heat under it. And there's a ladle next to it, and there's some like little mugs. And as they come through, Javin walks over and he takes one and he just kind of puts some in a cup. He's like, apple cider. It's spiced perfectly. You should have some before you leave. They do it very well here. And takes one of the cups and just kind of walks out the door as they're kind of following it around. So they're basically leading you as you're kind of going through, but in a sort of slow pace, just so you can kind of get your feet and see things while you're walking around.
I'll have one. That sounds good.
Yeah. So it's weird. Like even like as you look at it, like there's nothing holding up this bowl. It's just kind of like floating and over this disc. But there's the ladle right there, and it's like the perfect temperature. It's not too hot. It's definitely not cold, but it's not hot enough that you're going to burn yourself. Right? Like you can comfortably drink from it. It's strange how it just stays the right temperature, spiced with a hint of cinnamon and nutmeg and a few other things that you might not know of. But yeah, it's a delicious type of sort of refreshment coming out of being in the cold.
Nice.
So I walk over and I take a cup and I sip it. Well, I smell it and then I sip it. Is it spiced perfectly? Knowing like her
Your
whole thing with
spice.
plants and, you know, herbs and her background, her.
So is it, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Is it, you know, he said it was spiced perfectly. I'm saying, is it
Okay.
spiced perfectly?
Roll a nature check.
Quit being
17.
so picky. It's good.
I'm sorry? 7?
I told her quit being. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You don't even have to be picky. This is perfectly spiced. You're like, oh, this is not overly spiced. It's just you can taste the it's accentuating
the
apple.
recipe.
Yeah. Great. So, anybody else having any?
Yeah, I'll take some.
So yeah,
and I won't be so judgy about it.
What's that?
I said, and I won't be so judgy about it.
Nice. Yeah. Again, you're like it's great. It's the best you've ever had. And as you walk away, all of you take a point of inspiration.
Oh, hello.
You just feel rejuvenated.
Oh, it's magical.
Carrie, take 4 hit points, please. Back.
Nice.
Well, you're not almost dead now. You're just almost.
Was anybody else
dead.
down hit points?
Partly dead.
I don't think I even took it. Did it? Well, hold on. I probably wrote it down.
I don't know how this happened. You guys were my first boss battle where people did not all take hit points or didn't take damage. So
She was so convinced. Yeah, I don't. I got that temporary hit point. We got those temporary hit points from Alora.
That's right. Yep.
So I was up one actually with 1 temporary hit point than my regular max.
Got it. Yeah, the temporary hit points are gone now, but you guys are still at max.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's I forgot about the temporary hit point thing. So yeah.
And then Temper was at 26.
Got it. Temper did not drink any.
Did Temper come with us?
He did.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh crap, we love Temper.
I know, that's what I was supposed to say. I don't remember hearing Temper.
The bigger question
did go
is
down though.
What's that?
Does my strength come back up? My strength went down, remember?
Not yet. It's not up yet. The bigger question is Bryn with you?
Yeah, of course, it goes without saying.
Okay. All right.
I
Well.
stuck him through.
Okay.
He's flying back on his way. Like,
Okay.
we'll see you in a couple months, buddy.
Gotcha. All right. So you are taken to, as you're walking through, you're taken to a stairwell. Um, Javin and Coffee are kind of trotting along, and they're like, "Won't you follow me? We'll take you to see Spiros." And the others head off in a different direction, as if they're walking with a little bit more of a purpose, um, likely to go make sure that the orbs are put away. And so he takes you to the staircase. This area is now similar to what you've seen before. You were on this floor, but now that you've gone down one of the floors. You are on this floor before. You'd never been above it, but you walked up to this when you originally met with Spiros there. There was when you went there originally, there was sort of a person, so to speak, that was kind of at the front door, staving off people. That was a sort of an illusionary person that isn't there right now. The door's sort of just closed and nobody's standing out front. And Javin just walks over and kind of knocks at the door. As he knocks, the door opens on its own, and he waves you in, and Coffee just trots inside. You guys heading in?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll follow in behind him.
Right. So, it's similar to what you saw before. The room is kind of furnished with some couches and a table or a desk that you have seen and you stood at before with him. There's a small little sitting area that has a few chairs surrounding this small circular table. And so he kind of says, "Oh, I'm so happy that you all made it back, and I'm glad that we sent the others for you, because I couldn't bear it if you were gone that long again, especially without assistance, because when these orbs started going, I was concerned that it was too much for you. Not to say you aren't capable, you are, but these orbs frighten me, so I had to send others. I hope you do not mind."
No, not at all.
So what happened, Javin? Were you able to fend off the shadow speakers? Did the others do what they needed to do? How about the dean? Was Oren still up to the task? Well, Spiros, there wasn't anything for us to do. The three of them and Temper. Yeah, I was there too. The three of them and Temper took care of all of it before we showed. What? And he kind of just like laughs. He's like, "I underestimated all of you. My apologies. Please sit." And he kind of points over to the chairs around the circular table.
Well, to be honest, I mean, we didn't really know what we were stepping into either, so thank you for sending others to find us. We were trying to gather our thoughts and trying to decide, what we were going to do from there when everybody arrived. So it was nice to have people who could just know what to do with the orbs and the prisoner and get us back. Thank you.
Well, thank you for all you've done. We've done more than enough, more than I asked, and I appreciate it. What can I do for you now that you've completed this task?
I just want to ask, what's going to become of the orbs? Do we know yet?
We're going to keep them in the vault. I have been studying the ones that we've had. They seem to be some sort of construct. They emanate both power from the Fae and power from the Shadowfell. And they combine that somehow with
That's what
power
Zrisha was
from
saying.
here. It seems as if someone long ago found a way to harness something from that side, from both sides. I have never seen anything like it.
That's guys, that's what Zrisha was saying. That's what
Mm-hmm.
she was getting at.
What does she say?
Well, we were not able. I think I'm not sure. I don't think that we killed her. I think that we injured her to the point where she must not have been fully on our plane, it seemed. So she very angrily and against her will faded while screaming at us about not knowing what we were doing, about how they stole the power from them, and the Donrin would come back, that they had stole the power from, I guess, the from her people, her land,
Hmm.
and mismatched it together.
This makes sense. Maybe that is what she was referring to. I But we also think, based on what we've learned from Temper, that there are more than the ones that we found. At least one of these orbs was in the keeping of someone from the. Well, I have to say this very plainly, and he turns and looks at Javin and you, Riva, and he says, at least one of these orbs was in the keeping of a member of the stewards of Melora. So this, again, is concerning to me. Look, I just brought it here after she died. It was found among her things. I thought it was something far past my ability to understand, and I brought it here, and along the way died. So I don't know what you want from me, Spiros. And he's like, calm, my friend, calm, my friend. And he's like, but so, it, who was it that died? And he turns to you, um, Riva, and he says, you know, Daria Balta. She's the Furbolg female that was Circle of the Land, the steward that was. Maybe you've met her. I don't know. Did I introduce you?
Um, I remember a furball female.
Yeah, roll
Not,
a.
that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, roll a. Let's say a knowledge. Nature
Oh, I rolled a 20.
or history. Then you remember her. You remember meeting.
I know her.
Yeah, you remember meeting her. She was a sweet lady. She was a Furbolg that had sort of stayed with her people for a while, but then ventured out on her own to help train others in the Steward of Menor. It's strange to you that you never would have put her together with someone that would have had an orb or something, but again, there's a lot that you don't know about. So one of the ones that you collect or reacquired must have been that one, right? Because that was one that they had. And yeah, so by the count, that means that there are still 3 remaining. So it could mean that this Zrisha will come back, but we still have one, two, three. Yes, we have a good many. We have 5. We have most of them. So that must be encouraging, right?
It's encouraging, except for the fact that 3 were the only ones in the room that she was using for the ritual.
So you think that maybe she has more?
I mean, you were saying that the ones that you had were reacting, so maybe she has to have. My guess is that she has to have 3 in her power to initiate the ritual, and then all of them will
That's
link or.
possible.
That's just my guess. Because all she had was 3, and that's all it took.
It could also be because I was using the orb to help find the others to check on you. So it could be a reaction between my scrying that I was able to sense what she was doing there. But you bring a good point. Maybe they are tied and just takes 3 to do this.
Well, whatever she was doing only needed 3. So maybe it's not the big...
Well, I'm glad that we got the ones that we have, and it's thanks to the 3 of you. So, what can I do? I know maybe some coin is in order. You should not be doing missions like this for free. And he goes over to his desk, and he opens his desk drawer, and he pulls out 3 small bags, and he brings them over and puts them on the table. I hope this is at least a gesture of my gratitude, and I hope that this amount is worthy of your time. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yes.
Well...
Found this stone. Pull a stone out of my pocket. I've seen these around the tower.
As have I. And he, may I?
That's, of course, yes.
So he floats it out of your hand and into his hand, and then just concentrates on it and puts his hand over it. And as he's doing that, you see him think a little bit. He reaches into his spell pouch, and you see a small pearl, and then he reaches into the other, and you see a feather, and he kind of puts the pearl in his hand next to the stone, and then he takes the feather and he kind of brushes it over both of them, and then he puts them both away, leaves the stone in his hand, says, yes, so this is an ion stone. It appears that this stone holds spells. Let me see. And he's just like thinking on a little bit more. And I'm scrolling to find what I did. Oh, okay. So it's the Ion Stone of Reserve. And basically, he explains that it will store. You can store some of your spells energy into this, and then use it to cast, so that you don't have to use a slot.
Nice.
It appears that 2 spells are already in it, and then he explains that it's comprehend languages and dark vision are already stored inside of it, but it basically means that you can store up to 3 spell levels. So it could be a 3rd level spell, or it could be 3 first level spells, or a 2nd level spell and a 1st level. It's just a total of 3 spell levels can be stored in it at any one time. But it has comprehend languages and dark vision in it already that can be cast. A mighty object to find.
Henry, that
Yes,
is super awesome.
May I keep it then?
You asking me and Alora?
I would say it's up to you. This is not one of the artifacts that we found, and I would say you've earned it.
Agreed. Thank you.
Nice.
So I pull out the cloak and the amulet, the necklace amulet, and ask him to look at them. Will you look at these also and kind of give us an idea of what they do?
Of course, my dear. And he takes the cloak and he kind of drapes over his hand. Again, his hand goes in. He puts the pearl on it. He takes the feather and he kind of brushes the cloak and the pearl. And then he puts those two aside. He doesn't put them back in his pocket this time because he realizes he's going to be maybe doing this a few times. And then he focuses on the cloak. Ah, interesting. I've never seen anything of its make. This must have been made by the Donrin, but again, I believe it yours if you'd like to use it. But this Donrin cloak, it appears to change and take the fashion of whatever form the user would like. If you were traveling to Getica, for example, and you wanted to appear as if you were wearing a Getican cloak, it would change into the fashion of the day. So it is very useful, but even more so, it will protect you. And so it's a cloak of protection +1 on top of that. So it gives you +1 to your armor class.
Okay. Cool. So how that works though is that the person who's wearing it just like wills it to look a certain way?
Yep. You have to attune to it. But yeah, you can. It's sort of. I wouldn't say it's like an action or bonus action type thing. You just need time to do it. Like, so it's not a like, boom, I'm going to change it. If you did it in combat, it would be like a bonus action, I would say. That's how much time it would take. But normally you would just change it if you're going into a place and things like that. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's just a matter of preparation and thinking it through. You have to just picture in your mind what you want it to look like and it'll change.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do?
Well, yeah, it was the necklace with the ruby amulet in it.
I missed that. I'm sorry. So he does the same to the amulet, and then holds it up. Ah, this is an amulet of health, and when you have to attune to this one too. When you wear that amulet, your Constitution score is 19.
What? That's crazy. Okay. Okay.
Do you say that to him? What? That's crazy.
Yes,
probably. Yeah.
Does he know what con is?
I mean, he's pretty smart, so
makes you very hardy.
Yeah.
And I took that the dagger and the scimitar off of Drayan. Would he look at those? Is there anything special about them, or are they just a scimitar and a long dagger?
He kind of waves. You recognize it as casting Detect Magic. He doesn't see anything magical about those.
Okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much.
No, my thanks is to you.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know anything about the High General Oros Vanamir?
He lives not too far from the tower, but I have only met him in passing at believe it was a charity dinner. But there is, again, just his home is right down the street. Why do you ask, Alora?
Supposedly, he is my uncle. And I'm just trying to find something out about him.
Your uncle?
Yeah, my mother's brother.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you haven't met him then?
Not yet. I'm wondering if it's a trick or if it's true.
That's interesting. Are you going to see him?
Maybe. I don't
I
know
kind of
if I
look over at her,
should.
and I kind of look over at her, and I say, "Well, Temper did recognize you as being House of Vandermeer
That's true.
by your Talum."
Yeah.
I, I was going to. I didn't want to pry, but while I was looking at the other things, that is quite a powerful item you have there, Laura.
Really? It's been pretty nice.
Yes.
What do you know about it?
Well, just its power. If you'd like me to inspect it more, I can. But it seems, if you've, how long have you had it?
For a good little while now.
Then I expect you know more than I do.
Ah,
But it
you know what?
is.
There's some very good weapons.
It is. Uh, and then in your mind, you hear, "I am."
Is it a man or female
Um,
voice?
I would say it comes to you in whatever voice you would sort of attach to.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because it's not
Okay.
really like an auditory voice, so you're kind
Yeah,
of
it's just in my mind. Yeah, that's why.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's totally saying it, but it's also totally in your mind, so it's like whatever you would imagine it to sound like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Well, Laura, if he lives close by, we can possibly try to meet him, maybe?
I guess. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I guess since we just beat these really bad guys, if we all go together, maybe we can beat him too.
Well,
if he tries anything.
perhaps he gives you the sort of the coin that one of the coins that he gave Javin, the one that you um, recognized as what he was using to get entry into here. He said perhaps this will help, and if you present this to his guards, then perhaps they will let you in easier than before. But how did you? By the way, Alora, how did you find out that he was your uncle?
I was sent a letter from him,
Did
or supposedly from him.
Does the letter give instructions?
I think it does. Let's see. It says to please come at your earliest convenience to visit me in the city.
So you have the invitation. I think you would be able to get in fairly easily.
Yeah. I just wondered what kind of manner of person he was before we just showed up at his store. So I was
I've heard
just curious.
Nothing but great things. He is the High General. I don't know much of him other than his station. He seems to be an honorable man, from what I understand. But again, I don't know him personally. Mm-hmm. He is well respected among the people and his soldiers.
Okay. Weird. I might have to go see.
I kind of feel like people look at her really strange when they find out he's her uncle because she's not a full elf. Is there a stigma in the city about not being full-blooded heritage?
No, I don't think that's what it is. It's a good question, Riva. I think it's more that his whole line have all been elves, and I don't think that anyone he's married to an elf, and I don't think anyone outside of his line has ever married anyone other than an elf. I don't think that it's a stigma per se, especially in the city. No one sees anything wrong with the half-elves or the half-orcs or anyone around here. It's just if you're claiming to be a descendant, or I should say a relative, then it is strange if you are a half-elf, because no one knows any other person in his family to be anything but an elf. So it is interesting. However, if your mother married a human, then that would explain it. But no one knows of you. No one knows of your mother.
Maybe that was why your birth was not good.
Not so good. Yeah, maybe that's why they ran.
Yeah, so I think we need to maybe. I say we go meet him, but I think we need to be a little cautious because I think they might have some prejudices against being mixed.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering.
They are of the royal line, or so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just be an outcast.
Muddied the water.
But he did send a letter like he wanted to see me, but I hope it's not to kill me because I'm a halfling.
But you know what? The Talem recognized you, and you are as much part of that family as he is. So I say we go meet him.
Okay.
Is it that you don't feel safe there, Laura?
Possibly. Because I don't know anything about him or my family.
Should I invite him here? Would you feel safer?
Yeah, definitely.
I owe you as much, so let me send a runner and see what we can do. And he walks over to his desk, and then he picks up what is seemingly a paperweight, but it's sort of a stone it is acting as a paperweight, holding something down. And he picks it up, and he speaks into it. Georgius, I need you in the room, please. And he puts it back down. And then he goes about, you guys have your cider, he's drinking a cup of tea as he's sitting down, and about, you're chit-chatting and kind of just spending the time, and about 5 minutes later, you see this halfling gentleman with kind of bushy hair, but wearing sort of acolytes type lower level mage robes that are just started his training type thing. Yes, sir. Yes. Can I help you? Yes. And he walks over and he writes something, puts a little bit of wax from the candle that he has burning. He puts his coin stamp on it after it's folded. He says, I'd like you to please take this to the High General, Oros Vanamir, please. Yes, sir. And then he runs and heads out of the room. Let's see if he'll meet with us. We'll say, well, the hour is late. We'll call it dinner. Maybe an hour or so. Please take your leave and down the hall. Make yourself comfortable. 2 doors down, you'll find a sitting room there. We will eat in the dining room across the hall. Henrik, you know where it is. We'll eat there in 2 hours. So let's see if he shows, shall we?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're most welcome. You. So Riva, Javin walks over to you and he's like, "You done me proud, girlie. Thanks for all you did."
Thank you.
I can't stand being in this tower much longer. I'm going to be heading out, so let me know should you need anything, and fare thee well. Let my brother know that I'm doing okay. I was there not too long ago resting, and hadn't seen him in a while, so when you get home, just let him know I'm okay.
Okay, I will. And hey, for everything that you've taught me, I felt very possibly unprepared, but then the minute that stuff started happening, it all came back to me, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Well, you always were pretty good. And let's also face it, it ain't just me. You got sort of someone watching out for you, don't you, girlie?
Well, and really quick, I flash into my form because he hasn't seen it because I got it level 2.
Whoa.
Look what I can do now!
Oh. You need to prepare an old man before you do something like that.
Listen, they've already revived you once. I think
I don't need to go back again. What are you doing?
But look, this is amazing.
Yeah. Put it away, girlie. Put it away.
And she just flashes back to her.
So
I can turn into a bear.
Well, that's good. I am glad you can. I don't know about those other, but yeah, that's good.
Thank you so much.
All right, and fairly well, Henrik and Alora. Thanks for keeping her safe. And then, oof, they kind of trot out.
Hi, Coffee. Hi, Coffee.
All right. Anything else you want to do before you get some rest and have dinner? All right. So I'll say you can take a short rest before dinner. So if you need to spend any hit dice or do any short rest stuff, we'll say that you did that. There was sort of rooms that are appropriate for taking a nap or laying down and getting some rest or studying or whatever you need to do. And then you're able to kind of rest up a little bit, patch up the wounds if you have any, before it's time to eat. So, with that, we'll fast forward a little bit. You all kind of make your way to. Yep, sorry, go ahead, Riva.
How long does it take to attune to the cloak?
Just a short rest. So if you want to use that to become attuned, that's fine.
This is my thought. We've been on the road and she's about to meet her uncle. If you would like to you could take the cloak and like it can change into whatever you want it to change into. So you could wear with him, like you could wear something fancier. We can put we can imagine like a fancier outfit. We can, we only have what's in our bags, like traveling clothes. So I didn't know if I'm okay if you want the necklace as well, but I was just thinking with you meeting him, if you wanted to, and we have time, you could put it on and be fancy. Or if you don't care.
I'm not fancy. I want him to see who I am.
Okay. Well, I was just.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Their first meeting with
I think I want to I want him to see who I am.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. We can decide later on, anything. I just thought that, I didn't know if you were nervous about meeting him or,
of course,
I'm trying to beat out my clothes.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
I'm trying to do a quick bath, trying to
okay.
at least look okay because we're going to have dinner.
Yeah, I'm going to at least clean up
people,
a little bit, but I am what I am.
Awesome.
I do some prestidigitation, I do all kinds of little druid stuff. A bird comes in and braids our hair. No, I don't.
Okay, hey.
I'm just kidding.
Is anybody else attuning to anything during this time? Just curious.
No.
Henrik, are you attuning to the?
That's what I was going to say. Are you doing your stone?
Okay. So after your rest, you've cleaned up, looking your best, and you kind of are led in to the dining area, and you're kind of all sitting. They have some wine and some water poured for everybody. There's some plates in front of you before the dinner is served, and you're just waiting. And then about 10 minutes in,
while we're waiting, I'm drinking my wine and somebody else's wine because my nerves are shot. They're going to just have to refill my glass.
About 10 minutes, and you see Spiros walk in. Yes, it is. I'd like to present, and then after him walks sort of a copperish skinned, dark hair, very good looking elven man, and I'll just do this. And
is that him?
Is
that supposed to be my uncle?
So he kind of walks. I present High General Oros Vanamir, and then he walks in, and he's looking. He's kind of looking in the room. He's nods to everyone, and he says, "Riva, Henrik, I'm glad I can meet you, but could you give me a moment with my dear niece, Alora?" And he walks over towards you. "It is so good to meet you."
I look at Alora and ask her if she wants us to leave. Would you like us to leave, or would you like us to stay here?
Don't go far.
I look
Stay
at him
close.
I look at him and I say, "I'm going to be right outside the door, Alora."
Okay.
He smiles.
Just shouting distance.
Of course.
Exactly.
Henrik, are you staying or going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll give them privacy.
And Spiro's kind of a confused look on his face, but he stands near the doors. "I'll be right outside, should you need anything, Laura." And they walk outside. "My dear Aurora, I am so relieved that you are okay. I thought after I sent the letter that you would make haste here. How are you?"
I'm okay. We just had some very important business we had to take care of first.
I hear from the little bit that Spiros told me as he walked me up the stairs. I'm just blown away. You look like your mother.
I do?
You do. And then he kind of glances down at your arm, and his eyes kind of go wide. Where did you get that? Where did you get that?
We found it in a chest on our journey.
Your journey where?
To part of the Donrin Empire.
I'm sorry, the Donrin Empire?
Yes.
Why would that be in a chest in the Donrin Empire?
I don't know.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. How are you in general? What is your occupation? What have you been doing with your life?
I'm good. I'm a ranger and gloomstalker.
Uh-huh.
And we just have been helping friends try and take care of some evil. And how are you? And how come I've never known about you?
If I had known that you were even alive, it would have been different. I assure you. I didn't know that. We looked for a while to find my sister, and I'm sorry that I'm sorry that it turned out the way it did. I don't know what to say.
Why did you not like her husband?
He kind of reels back a little bit at that. Terrence was not suitable to the family.
Why?
What did she tell you? You were just a girl. What did she teach you about our family? She must have taught you something if you're wearing that.
She didn't. I just learned to use this on my own.
I see. Learned on your own. You get a tingling sensation from the talum on your arm. Like Not danger, just like just a feeling of like it's like
Pay
when
attention.
yeah well it's pay attention, but it's also like if someone's holding your hand and they're trying to console you, so they hold a little bit tighter, just like
Mm-hmm.
briefly. It's sort of like that. And
Okay.
it was sort of like they're just it's letting you know it's still there, and just trying to reassure you.
Okay.
And so yeah, so
Okay.
I, we're being rude. I'm sorry. Maybe I should bring the others in. We can start the dinner. We have all night to talk.
Okay. Um, can you tell me a little bit about my mom first and why she would have left me?
I have no idea, other than Terence must have dragged her away on some expedition. Last I heard, she was going to do some Jurios ruins or something, but apparently it was not Jurios ruins. It was the Donrin ruins, and this is interesting. I have no idea why she would have left you on your own.
Do you know what they were trying to save the world from?
Um, roll an insight check.
18.
So he says, "I have no idea what they what," but you're getting sort of a he definitely knows something,
Mm-hmm.
but he isn't
That vague.
ready to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's all at one time, but it's just I've had a lot of questions for a while now, and I just thought maybe you could tell me
So
something.
your mother was a strong woman who was intelligent and courageous, and she was supposed to lead our family as all of the youngest elven women do. But she left with Terence.
Lead how?
In our tradition, it is the youngest daughter that takes over the family,
Oh,
carries the tradition.
oh,
Which is why it's very interesting that you are wearing that, since my dear Amarilil was just born 2 years ago.
mm-mm. So she's my cousin,
Yes.
and
I'm,
so this was supposed to be hers?
it changes depending on who the youngest in the house is. It's to help keep the line. If another daughter is born, then they carry on the tradition. They're taught by the elder female of the family. It's just how the line works. So, it, it yes, it was supposed to be hers, especially since your mother left the family.
Well, my name was on the cave that we found this in.
I heard she did that. When she used to travel, um, she used to apparently mark your name on any place that she was exploring as a way of saying, Alora's with me. Most of the time, um, it was innocent, but um, we searched many ruins that had your name written somewhere. Never found you.
Strange.
So, I hate to ask this so soon, but would you be willing to part with the Talum?
No. I'm sorry. No.
I see. His face kind of drops a little bit. Well, let us eat, shall we?
Okay.
And he kind of goes over to the door. Please, please, everyone, come in. And he's like, now he's all smiles again.
Mm-hmm.
And then letting you all come inside.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask earlier, did Temper leave out with us whenever we walked out?
Temper stayed in Spirus's chamber.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. It would have been funny if he would have. No, I protect her. It'd be funny. But anyways, okay. So I walk back in and I walk over to her and I kind of put my arm around her and I just very quietly kind of pull her to the side and ask her if she's okay and, do I need to hurt him?
I'm just confused. Like, I really don't have any answers still. And he's a little bit vague. And I don't know how to take him. And he wants my Talem. He's crazy.
Again, like, he kind of perks up when he hears you say that because your voice raises a little bit. So he's like, and then Spiros kind of says, wait, before we eat, what is it that you're trying to take her jewelry?
Sorry, I didn't mean to be so loud.
I tried to explain to her that it is something that gets passed down from the line to the youngest daughter, and my daughter was just born 2 years ago. It's just improprietary, and it's the nature of the line, and it's nothing we have to argue about now. We can discuss it later. Spiros is like, yes. Well,
I just find it interesting that within 5 minutes of meeting her, you were asking her about that. If you were really concerned about a family member.
He did ask how I was, and then it, just went to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Talem chose you.
It seemed to have, but I don't know if I'm the right one now.
How did you even, like, the food starts, like, people start coming in and putting plate down, like, they stand behind you and they put the plate in front of you, and, like, you have, like, there's some, like, roasted pheasant, and then there's, like, some potatoes and some vegetables there, and there's another glass of wine being poured. So it's sort of well put together meal for the short notice that it was, and he kind of looked. And then coffee runs in the room.
Good save.
He's back.
Yeah. He just ran through. He wanted a leg. They're not going to shut up. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yeah. Just whenever I was saying that to him, my eyes kind of lit up with the light.
Intimidation?
No, just with my Aasimar background, I have that luminescence thing that happens with my eyes and my hair.
Yes, but I'm just saying.
So,
is it in a way trying to let him know something, or are you trying to persuade him, or are you trying to intimidate him, or are you just
I'm not happy with him, but I'm not trying to get him to do anything. I'm just trying to let him know I'm not happy with him. So would that be intimidation?
I mean, are you trying to have an effect on him, is what I'm saying. Meaning, like, are you trying to impart, like, I'm... Like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll an intimidation
check. Because I'm protective of her.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
14 plus 15.
Okay. He kind of just, as you did that, he kind of just looks at you, smile drops on his face a little bit. So, please, tell me, how did you even find the Talem? It's amazing to me that you've come so far. Like, in your travel, how did you get something... where would she have put it that you would have found it? If you've never talked to her since you've been a child.
Like, I'm sorry. You just met your niece. There are so many conversations you could be having right now other than this.
Yes, and I just thought that she just explained to me that her, perhaps because you weren't in the room, she just explained to me that she was an adventurer, that she had been on a perilous journey fighting evil, and part of this was her finding the Talem. As she was doing so, I was hoping to hear the story of what she just did.
I call bullshit.
Do we have any of those orbs left?
So, do you say that?
No. I don't say that. Especially since the whole Vandermeer crap. You know
Okay,
what I
so
mean?
I'm sitting next to her, right?
Yeah.
When he said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to lean over and whisper to her, no, he didn't want to know that. Javin and Coffee are behind me.
Right? So I'll just look at him and say, well, we fought a shadow lord and killed it, and this is what was left behind.
A shadow. What is a shadow lord?
A large, shadowy creature that exudes screams of anguish and darkness and despair.
My dear, I'm sorry you all had to go through that.
And it really was the first time we found any clues at all pertaining to her family since she came to live with us.
Indeed. So, where were you when this happened?
Don't tell him.
In a ruin. We were in a ruin, investigating where we were sent by Spiros.
Spiros, where did you send them?
Crap.
Well,
He's
we
the High
had
General.
discovered some artifacts. And artifacts? What type of artifacts? Well, it appears that the Donrin Empire had constructed some sort of orbs, and these orbs were emitting some type of energy, and they have been found in several areas. As he's talking, all of you see his eyes start to get bigger, and then he kind of takes a deep breath and just kind of, yes, interesting.
Sneaky buzzard.
Because just me to you, DM, the orb that we found there was the Vandermeer orb, right? With the Talem.
Give me a second. Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
What else did we find in there? I forgot the Talem, the orb, and just a letter, right?
Yeah, that was it. We found that book that Spiros.
Yeah.
It wasn't in that chest.
Yeah, right.
I can imagine all of this has been terrible for you, Elora, and hard to live. Crystal's face. I'm like.
So suspicious.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Please, is there anything I can do? Would you like to stay at the estate? We have plenty of room. Would you like to stay?
No, I don't think so. I'd rather stay with my friends, and I think they're gonna let us stay here. maybe we can still visit and talk.
Of course, you can anytime. And Spiros kind of comes. I was actually going to make an invitation myself, if it's not too presumptuous.
That'd be wonderful.
So it is up to all of you. If you decide not to do so, then I completely understand. There is a lot of things happening, even outside of all of these Donrin excursions that you have been on recently. But I was wondering, are you interested in maybe seeking out and helping us with any other excavations or any other archaeological finds? Uh, Really, what I'm asking is, would you mind being employed by the Athenaeum preservationists? Officially, so to speak. We could send you out on excavations, and when we find rumors of things, you can help us investigate. It seems that you have a talent for it.
I might. Can I think about it?
Of course.
That's
The
a
offer
very
goes
good
to all of
offer.
you. Henrik, Riva.
What do
You
you
would be
guys
acting
think?
in official capacity. You would have a writ of patronage from us. It would open some doors for you. It would make sure that you're doing all of this legally and above board. You would not have to hide anything. It is for the Athenaeum, the good of the people. But again, sleep on it. Let me know.
Yeah, well, thank you for the offer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for the offer. I definitely think that that's something that we can all talk about tonight and maybe give you an answer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
That would be great. So, continuing to eat. There's a little bit of small talk amongst everybody. The general explains a little bit about what he does and his post with the Imperial Armory. He's literally the head of the Imperial Armory, the army. The only person that he reports into is the Empress. So there's nobody higher than him as far as the government goes. Like you go to Ventia, you go to the Ventian Empire. It's from a military standpoint, he's it. Like there's nobody that has a higher rank. So
So who is the Empress? Is
she's
that family or is that
no,
just
not his family. It's not they're not related. It's just that his royal line is separate. So the Ventian Empire is sort of a conglomeration of a lot of different people. It's not like just elves, or just dwarves, or just whatever. It's sort of been a line that gets passed down from the sort of from the people, right? So the current empress is Baslina of this area. She's a human that actually lives in Ventia, and after a while, the people get together. It's sort of like elections, but they still call it an empire or empress. It's not like it's a direct sort of democracy type thing. They still have the regent lords that will vote on things and stuff like that. But it's basically a new person becomes emperor or empress after a certain amount of time.
okay?
But there still are remnants of like royal families and family lineages from the older societies. So like elves and dwarves, and they still have their royal lines that they keep. So they still have their families, but it's a lot more cosmopolitan now, right? So it's almost in a way like the way like we have in the United States, we've got people that have families that have been around forever, right? Like it's sort of like that. Like you hear
Yeah.
that name and it kind of goes back for a long time.
Okay.
We might need a break. Just a quick one, real quick, for a bathroom break.
Yep. Yeah, and then we'll take a quick break, come back, and then we're not too far from closing out. So
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
be back in 5.
Okay.
Okay. See ya.
Works. Thanks.
All right, we are back. Okay, so we're still at the dinner table, kind of having a little bit of small talk as people are eating and stuff. Can I get everybody to have or to roll an let me think. I'm trying to think, what check do I want to do this? Yeah, I think insight check would probably work, or if you would rather roll a deception check to no insight check. Insight check will work best.
I got a 9.
Okay.
I rolled a 14, but my insight's 4, so 18.
Yeah, and I'm just going to remember everybody in this last probably 10 minutes of the campaign has inspiration, and it's going to go away at the end of this campaign. So feel free to use your inspiration if you need it.
I mean, I'll re-roll. I'll use it and re-roll.
I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying don't forget everyone. So as the rolls start packing up, you just want to make sure you choose which one you want to do. So, all right, so you said 14, 15?
No, I had a 18. I rolled a 14.
And got 18.
And I have 4 plus 4 for my insight,
okay.
So it's 18.
Okay, so if you could just give me the total, what do you need? What do you have for your total, Henrik? I'm sorry I missed yours, Carrie.
I got a 9.
Okay, so 9, 18, Alora?
16.
16. Okay. Riva, you get the sense that as you're talking, that it's not that you have him wrong. You are still annoyed by him. But the more he talks and the more like the chat goes on, you also get the feeling that he's being guarded. Like, is this person that claims to be his niece really his niece? Like, what I'm saying is that's the feeling you get, and you get that because of like all the things he said, like his position, the people that would want to come at him, the things that they would do, the fact that he hasn't heard from her in a while. Like, you just get that feeling from him, but you still are, it's not taking anything away from your insight that you had from originally, but it's starting to make a little bit more sense about why he might be a little bit more guarded, because he doesn't have any of the information of what you guys have been doing. The only thing he knows is there's a Talon. He doesn't know anything about the orbs. He doesn't know, like, you haven't told him anything. So your insight is telling you he's like, I don't know anything about what these guys have been doing. So how am I supposed to know other than they went to some ruins? Like, nothing, all the stuff that you've said so far is common information except for the Talon.
So it's common information that she came to live with, like, he knows that I'm her sister?
No. I meant common information about, like, that there are ruins, that there was a Donrin Empire, like, as far as, like, that kind of stuff. Like, if you're trying to get more information out of him about anything, like, he doesn't have any of the new information that you guys have, is what I'm getting. So, like, that's the feeling that you're getting from him as you're listening to the conversation and things like that. He's, like, being guarded because he's not getting too much information.
Okay.
So,
what does he want to know?
Are you asking?
Yeah.
Well, what is it that you've been doing? What is it that brought you here? I know you said you were delayed. You had other pressing things. What was it specifically that you were doing? What were these artifacts?
They were some kind of magical things that were causing some really bad stuff to happen. There were these people from the Shadowfell that seemed like they were trying to take over the world, and we were trying to stop that.
From the Shadowfell?
Yeah.
So, like, he kind of slumps. Spiros, is there a way for you to secure the room beyond what you're already doing in the tower? Secure how? secure it from others listening? Yes. He walks over to the door. He goes outside for maybe 30 seconds. Comes inside. It's done. So, I apologize for being less than forthcoming. I am very pleased to see you, Elora. You have to understand that there are some things that very few people know about and very few people would understand. And I'm trusting those in this room and Spiros, as the head of the Tower of Arcane, to keep it close. And he puts his hands on the table, like palms down, and he puts his head down, and his body...
Is my Talem doing anything?
Nope.
Okay.
And his body starts to shift a little bit, and you can see, like, the color goes from his skin. His face starts to change. His hair turns paler. And you see, you don't even recognize this type of person or just type of being. You've never seen any one of the races like this. And they're mostly a grayish white, very, very plain features, sort of dark, but it's like kind of faded dark hair. My people are the Donrin.
I look at Elora and I said, "Oh, that's what they look like." Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not shocked because all this, like Reva's reaction, I'm not shocked just because of all the stuff that we've seen, their name being on things, the whole line, all that stuff. So I just didn't know that they looked a lot different.
So, and then Spiros is kind of like, forgive me for being impertinent, but what are you? My people came from the Fae. We are known as changelings.
Nice.
You've been alive that long. I knew the elves were long-lived or changed. No, you don't understand. I don't live any longer than you, Spiros. But I'm not the first one to have the name Oros Vanamir. We take on personas. We carry the line. We teach our children what to do. They become the next one in the line. They teach their children. They become the next one in the line. We are everywhere. We are the elves. We are the dwarves. We are the dragonborn. We are everywhere.
So are you really my uncle then?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Elora, can you change?
She cannot, which is why she was dangerous.
Oh.
When one of us mates with another, there is a chance that another will be born a changeling. There's a chance that they will be born of the other race.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother was born an elf. I was born a changeling. Your father was also born human. His family were also changeling. They found each other. They learned the truth.
Okay.
They sought to expose what was happening. You understand how that would tear the world apart if everyone knew that the inner workings of every government had at least some of us. People would lose their mind thinking that everything was a conspiracy. We are doing nothing but trying to help the world, help things get better, take the knowledge that we've accumulated for years and years and years, and make societies better.
Then why do the Shadowfell think you're bad?
Early in our history, there were people that pushed the limits of what could be done with the arcane. They found that they could pass over to the other realms. We were of the Fae, but lived here. They found that if they went to the Shadowfell and pulled some energy and somehow crafted something, it could make things more potent, more incredible.
Ooh, okay.
We...
So back to
Are you saying
what?
you had something to do with Laura's mother's disappearance?
No. I have no idea what... this is the truth. I have no idea what happened. The only thing that I had her... Yes, I did, in the fact that we didn't want her around the family. We didn't want her spreading the rumors, but we did not kill her. We did not drive her away. She left. She threatened to expose things. But we would never harm her.
So you never found her or anything left by her?
No, but it troubles me that someone else from the Shadowfell was here. What if she went there? What if she tried to make some type of an alliance to ruin what we've built? I don't know. I don't believe she would do it. But Terrence, who knows what he would do?
That reminds me, Laura, do you think Terrence is a changeling? Not your father, but your brother?
I don't know. I still want to talk to him.
Wait, you have a brother?
Oops. You're going to let another cat out.
Yeah, because she's just, like, her mind is blown that, like,
yeah, right.
I knew that Alora's family was
then he can't,
but I didn't realize that Terrence's family was too.
Then he can't be. Because neither Terrence or your mother were changelings. Then if you have a brother,
he's my half-brother.
Older.
Yes.
It's possible.
Well, I guess we need to alert those guards.
If his mother was, then it's possible.
Yeah, because we don't know anything about his mother.
Mm-mm.
We just know she was the woman that he left for my mom.
The ironic thing is, our house led the Ministry of Exploration. She was always an explorer at heart, as are you, I can see.
I am. Oh, man.
I'm sorry that this is coming down on you. And the Talem is something passed through the house, but it is passed through changeling to changeling, not elf to elf.
It's so weird because it's like it's a part of me.
Yes. They do have a mind of their own. Isn't it also strange that it changes its form? Just like we do?
Yes. And it lets me know when things are bad.
Just like the cloak? As he's looking over and he sees the cloak that you guys have.
Ooh.
I didn't have that out.
Oh, I thought one of you were wearing it. Well then,
No.
He didn't say that.
Everyone.
No.
Well, you guys know at least.
Yeah, there's no point in having that out because neither one of us were we were deciding who was going to.
Well, you guys just put that together then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Don't want him having to try to come after something else too.
Right on.
All I can say. Go ahead.
I'm just curious though, like when a baby is born, there's just a random chance in any family that is the lineage of a changeling randomly that they might be one. And then if they're not one, their children have no chance.
This is Brian looking it up to make sure I get it right.
Because my birth was random, and it's just interesting to think like there has to be some
purpose.
It's
Yeah,
Can't all be random.
it's if one of the parents isn't a changeling. If two changelings have a kid, it's going to be changeling.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if in order to perpetuate the line, they had to breed with everybody, right?
she
So
would have
that
had to have married a changeling to have a chance, a 50% chance of having a changeling child.
right. So the only way that
Laura's mother.
Terrence is going to be is if Terrence's mom was a changeling.
Okay.
Yep. I think it's a 50-50 chance, but I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But there's a percentage chance that you end up being a changeling. This is me not knowing for sure about how the race works there, but I'm going to say that on my world, it's a 50-50 for at least.
So have you always been Oris Vandermeer then?
Yeah, he just kind of turns back to his. We don't show our face to anyone. I did it because you are family, Laura. Our true self
Thank
is
you
never
for
revealed.
showing me. That kind of explains a few things.
I don't think. I think there's more to learn about what's going on with these people from the Shadowfell. And if the orbs have been discovered, then there is a danger if they fall into the wrong hands. Spiros, I take it that you have taken them into custody? Yes, yes. Well.
But we're still missing some.
How many?
3, right?
Yeah, 3.
Do you know which 3?
We should.
Yeah, do
well, we haven't really inspected the 3 or the ones that we just got.
Henrik knows exactly which 3.
Nice. Okay.
Henrik, you remember that it was the ones that were, well, just because of your thing, right? Like, so the ones that you have not discovered, the sigils that you haven't seen so far, it's House Atharid, House Ancila, and House Rissaman are still missing. So when you tell him that, he says, the Ministry of Magic, Ministry of Music, and the Ministry of Architecture. Well, perhaps if you do work with Spiros, maybe you'll uncover them throughout your other journeys. If you don't, then I hope you'll count me, at least, if not as family, then as a friend. You have... I hope and trust that you can keep this to yourselves.
Absolutely. And yes, we're family. It's
I
just
would have...
so much strangeness.
As with all families.
Absolutely.
I would have your words. I'm sorry, but Riva, Henrik, I would have your words that you will keep this to yourself.
Riva?
I mean, I have Alora's best interest at heart. And if her best interest is to keep this to myself, then I will. So you have my word.
Henrik?
Yes, you have my word as well.
Then I have much to think about. I'm sorry to cut this dinner short. Alora, thank you for seeking me out. And he gets up and he leaves.
Can I ask really quick before he leaves?
All right.
Something?
Yep.
Sorry.
5 seconds.
I just wanted to. Riva wanted really quick. Says, would you have any clue why the other Donrin changelings did not want House Vandermeer involved in anything?
I don't know their mind. We haven't spoken. None of us are in contact with one another.
Okay.
Why?
When the Empire fell, we decided that was the best way to keep it going by being a part of all these others, rather than fighting amongst ourselves again.
Well, it just seemed like they were keeping something from House Vandermeer with some of the things that we found and uncovered.
I will research in my journals and my father's journals and my mother's and her mother's and her mother's and her mother's.
I pull out the little piece of paper since I've like dictated it,
Yeah.
like, and I hand it to him. The one that was the journal entry.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Are from Quincy?
Yeah.
Or
This
okay.
might help you.
Yep.
Whittakus.
And I'm gonna like lean over to Reva real quick and should I show him the letter from my mother?
I mean, he's shared a lot with us, so he has eased my mind. I'm not as suspicious. So if you want to share that, then if you feel like you need to, then yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna hand it to him to read as he.
Well, he kind of silently reads it. I guess you know the truth now, or at least part of it. What she meant by this, instead of telling you, I don't know. Maybe there were others that found out about what was happening. Maybe she was with them. They were pulling together. They were seeking others out.
It says gods.
Well,
and maybe the gods will see fit to guide her.
Maybe that was her way of saying that it would be out of her hands. Much to think.
Yes,
definitely.
Please visit me anytime. We can speak more, and you're welcome to stay at the estate. And he bows a little bit, and then he walks out. Spiros is like, well, that was a bunch of new information.
Spiros' mind is blown.
Yeah, everybody's kind of like, whoa.
I think I need a drink.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyone for a nightcap?
Yes, a large one. A double, please.
And with that, we will end our campaign. Now,
right.
For all of you that have been sticking with us till the end, we are going to do a sort of, hopefully, a campaign retro where we'll get together and just chat about how things went and what we want to do, and whether or not we're going to continue with any of these characters moving forward. If some of them will be continuing, if others won't, just depends on how we want to do things. But this is D&D, so it's never really the end if we want to keep stories going. So we'll figure out how we're going to handle it moving forward. But thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right.